thrilled to be here and see all of the fresh faces from JKL and their families and community people, and the support from the library here tonight for our writers. It's a real thrill. Now, some of you might not be familiar with what NaNoWriMo is. It goes on every month, every year during the month of November. And last year, there were 384,126 participants around the world that participated in this month-long program of writing a novel in the course of a month. That's a lot of people that write novels. There's 928 volunteer municipal liaisons like me around the world that try to coordinate activities. And unbeknownst to those of you at Bawating, there are things going on all month long around the Eastern Upper Peninsula. I have speaking engagements in different locations and write-ins here at the library. And so it's a regular ongoing program of writing activities in support of writers that happen every year. Of that 384,000 people that wrote last year during November, 71,229 of them were young writers. We can be proud that that many young people got involved. At Bawating, we had 150 writers, and I have to give a big hats off to Ms. Dino, her writing classes, Mr. Litzner, Elfie Schweiderson, the writing teachers for the 6th, 7th, and 8th grades. Now, in the adult program for NaNoWriMo, their goal is 50,000 words in a month. Now, at their level, our goal for the 8th graders was 12,000 words, and for the 7th grader was 9,000, and for the 8th graders was 6,000 words, right? So, the writers outdid themselves. They were really good sports about this, because not every student has that creative drive to follow through on that many words in a month, but they did follow through to their best of their ability. And it was the encouragement from the staff and from each other, and they read selections to their classes and participated in a big way. I thought it was a wonderful success, and we're looking forward to refining our efforts in years to come, and maybe figuring out better ways to make this a better thing for our students from now on. I have to thank the library and the Friends of the Library for the wonderful refreshments. Any of you that feel the desire to join Friends of the Library and help with providing the things that the Friends of the Library does, feel free to do that. And remember, the library here we have is our unsung hero in our community for all the activities they provide, the educational programs, let alone the fabulous resource they are for books and research and all that. So that's here for you just to take advantage of, and it's free for all of us in our community. Get your library card out, dust it off, and come in and take advantage of the programs here at the library. So without any further ado, our plan tonight is each writer has signed in as they've come in, and they are prepared to read a short selection and maybe to explain a little bit about where they are pulling from, if they're pulling from the middle of their novel or if they're pulling at the end or at the beginning. So you can kind of understand. If they stand up and they just hold forth with their novel, that's okay too. So you're getting a selection of 6th, 7th, and 8th grade writers. So I'm hoping you're going to enjoy this. You feel free to applaud, and we'll hold our questions till the end. If you have questions from any of the writers, if you would just hold them to the end, that would be appreciated. So I'll get the sign-up sheet and call up the first writer. Okay. Our strategy didn't work, McKenna.
They want to say button there.
I suggested that she didn't want to be the first one, I suggested, well, sign on line 5 then. Well, line 5 was the first one. Nobody signed above her. So I'm going to call on McKenna McMillan. All righty.
This is from the middle part of my story. It's locked on the outside. How's that possible? You went the wrong way, little sugar cups. Jessica didn't know what to do. She usually knows, but this time she doesn't. Why do I know? I usually know. Then Jessica got an idea. She grabbed the pole that was laying on the floor with some ceiling pieces and whacked Chucky on the head. Ow, why did you do that? Chucky was starting to pass out from being knocked out. Chapter 5, Surgery. Come on, girls, let's try to find something to get this lock open. As always, I have bobby pins. As always, Jessica thought. Katrina knew how to unlock locks, but the lock just wouldn't budge. But it always works. It's so obvious, it's on a spell. Who was that? You've never seen me before, but I'm the vampire Dracula. Dracula stepped out and disappeared into the air. Chucky started moving towards the stairs, still on the ground, passed out. Once he got to the staircase, his body went up all the 50 stairs. The girls, of course, were curious and followed Chucky while staying 10 feet behind just in case if he woke up from his concussion.
You're not evil,
Next up is Miriam Clark. Isn't that right, Clark?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Go for it.
This is from, it's in the middle of my story. Chapter 11, Vanished. The girl's body was gone, vanished, disappeared, missing. He was struck with uncertainty. Had he killed her yet, or was it just a dream? He was having hallucinations the day before, something about a shadow following him. Had he been seeing things, then got too scared about what he was planning to do, or had the girl not been fully dead? If she made it, and picked the twigs and moss off her face, then where had she gone? The man's nerves turned cold. A rush of frigid tingles spiked throughout his body. Tense thoughts filled up his brain. What would he do if he was caught? Would he tell the police who was telling him to do this, or would he keep quiet? His boss knew people on the inside and the outside, and if he snitched, he would surely get stitches, or worse. He sat on the red, silky couch in complete darkness. He let the silence surround him, listening to the dripping water falling down the sink. He shivered and peered over the table stand. He hesitated to pick up his phone and call his boss. That's when the silence was interrupted by a slight ring, ring, ring. The text words on the phone read, "Boss," in big bold letters. God dang it, not now. Lucifer picked up the phone and answered. What did you do, Lucifer? Her voice was stern, yet still soft. I'm sorry, I tried, I thought I killed her. Lucifer whimpered into the phone. What do you mean you thought? You had one job. The voice sounded calm. I did, I promise you. I killed her. Then why did she show up at Shadow Hill High School? She asked demandingly. She what? Lucifer was confused. Had she been the shadow that escaped through the corner of his eyes? She showed up at Shadow Hill High School and managed to say a couple of words. Something like, help me. Lucifer knew the boss wouldn't pay him for the job. Let me make it up to you, Lucifer recited into the phone. What could you possibly do? Dinner, 7 o'clock. I will pick you up. Goodbye. Lucifer hung up the phone. He had no idea how he had managed to say that without sounding weak. And with that, Lucifer started to get ready. This would be the night when undiscovered truths would come out. Chapter 12, Keys and Strings. Max walked through the bright blue door into his house. He had been living there for as long as he had been alive. His mother was sitting at the kitchen table reading the daily newspaper, trying to catch up on the new gossip. Hey Mom, where's Dad? He asked. His mom lowered her glasses, placing them on her nose bridge bone. He's upstairs in his study with the sheriff. his mom recited. Max walked up the stairs, trying not to make a sound that would alarm his father and the sheriff. Max reached the top of the stairwell and slowly crept up to the hallway. Voices could be heard at the second room. "Do you have any new information then?" He heard from that room. It was Max's father's voice. "Matthew was our only suspect. He is the only one who makes sense, since he is connected to his sister in a way." The loud voice of the sheriff slowly quieted into a delicate whisper. "What about the Cutleries?" asked his father. "We looked into it. The only questionable person is Rachel Cutlery. She is a woman in her late 40s. The only tie we found is that she..." Creak. The sheriff's voice was cut off. Max had accidentally placed his right foot on a part of split wood. "What was that?" the sheriff asked. Then there were whispers going back and forth, but they were too quiet to hear. "It's my son." This time Max's dad, Eric, projected his voice towards the door. "If I were you, son, I would go downstairs and erase from your brain any part of this you may have heard." Max took his father's advice and went down the spiral staircase. When he reached the living room, he plopped down on the blue velvet couch. His fingers found their way to the TV remote and clicked through the channels. He had finally decided to stop at the cartoon The Simpsons. What was his father and the sheriff going to say about Rachel Cutlery? Was she another suspect? The sheriff hadn't said it yet. Max had a whole bunch of questions, but he decided telling Damon about what went on would be the best. Wait, so Rachel Cutlery, the town's most respected woman, might be a suspect. Damon was trying to get a hold of the information. "Yeah, and I accidentally made a noise and they knew I was listening. They said something about Rose doing something. I don't know." Max answered. He was trying to make sense of things. "Okay, well, are we still doing the idea? Because I think I have a way to get inside," Damon asked. "Yeah, but what was your idea?" Max questioned. Damon explained the creative plan, and the two boys set out to start step 1. Chapter 13, Dinner. "You're late." Standing in front of Lucifer was Rachel Cutlery. Her dress was a ruby red, draping down her slim body, tugging at the curves, creating a perfect illusion. Laid gently on her finger, there was a thick slab of diamond, sitting on top of a ring. The ring shimmered in the doorlight. Lucifer's eyes followed Rachel's legs down to her feet, which sat atop the white staircase, and only shone the slightest bit of her skin. Lucifer stared at her eyes, the deep color of the sea, which were coated in red eyeshadow and black eyeliner. Her lips were a bright red, curving the edges until it appeared into a grin. Resting on her shoulders were soft, charcoal black curls. "Are you going to say something, or are you going to stare at me?" Her eyes narrowed at Lucifer's mouth. Lucifer had a tempting smile as he replaced his eyesight back up to her face. I'm sorry. You look beautiful?" Lucifer stuttered. He didn't know what to call Rachel. One wrong word and Rachel would surely displace his head. Lucifer stood at the end of the stairwell, gripping the flowers he had spent hours looking for. They were perfect white roses with the prickly thorns still on the stem. Lucifer reached out his hand for Rachel to take. Rachel walked down the couple steps until she was side by side with Lucifer. "Well, stop staring and let's go. I have places to be after this waste of time." Rachel laid out her hand and Lucifer took it. Her husband was gone tonight, off to a meeting about money. It was the perfect time to get business done. No one knew about her relationship with Lucifer. It was their secret.
I want to hear more. I guess I'll have to read the next chapter. That was great. Shayla Marino.
So this is also kind of like the middle of my story, near to the front, like middle.
Oh, cool. I was wondering, did you get the note? He whispers the last part of it as if it was a secret. Oh, yeah, I did. I was going to ask my dad when I got home. Alright, cool. So hopefully I'll see you at the park. His eyes seem to sparkle with anticipation. Hopefully, I give him a smile, a real one, before I pivot and turn into the library. Glancing back out the window, I see him standing there with a goofy grin cemented on his face. I wave and turn to the rows upon rows of books. With steady steps, I move closer and closer to the back of the library. Each step that brings me closer to the back of the room, the more overpowered I am with the smell of musty paper. I scan the tables between the shelves, looking to see if any of them are free. I'm just about to reach the back of the library when I see a small square table, only home to dust bunnies. I pull a single chair from beneath the table, causing a loud screech across the floor. I perch myself onto the edge of the seat and grab my phone and headphones out of my back pocket. My phone roars to life as I power it on. It's 2:17 according to the clock. That means 43 more minutes until I'm finally able to start heading home. I unlock my phone with lightning speed and go straight to the music app. My thumb hits shuffle and Imagine Dragons fills my ears. I force my chair to lean against the bookshelf. For what feels like the first time today, I'm worry-free. That is, until someone enters the privacy of my corner. I rip out an earbud and stare at the intruder. I pause Imagine Dragons and give the invader a glare. The girl with her fair blonde hair done up in a high ponytail, dark blue eyes, and pale skin. I try to put the earbud back in my ear when she grabs my wrist. "Can I help you?" I ask sourly, not caring about how harsh I sound. "Yes, actually," she retorts, just as bitter. "You can stay away from my boyfriend, Cade. I know you've been hanging out with him all day, so you can stop that right now." Her eyes fill with rage. "Oh, so you're the famous Jocelyn." I roll my eyes at her. Yes, I am. Now you can stay away from Cade, or else I'll make your year miserable. Her words are icy and sharp. "All right, sounds good." I give her a sarcastic thumbs up and put the earbud back into its place. I unpause Imagine Dragons and they burst back to life. My hand taps to the rhythm of Believer. I grab my phone once again and head to my messages. The app opens to a message from Amber, my old friend from Brooklyn. "Hey, how are things going in Hollow Creek?" "Terrible. I've already got a target on my back." "Sounds bad. Things are pretty rough here too." "How so?" "Well, you know how I was dating Graham? Your summer boyfriend?" "Yeah, him. I just found out today that he's been cheating on me with Bethany Wrong." "Bratty Beth? I know, right? Should I break up with him?" "No. Get revenge first. How about you embarrass him at lunch or something?" "I guess." "Oh, wait, you can embarrass him in front of his mother. You know how she is." "Good idea. Well, I gotta go plan. Talk to you later." "See you later." I look at the clock on my screen. Just 23 more minutes till I have to head home on the bus. I start scrolling through Amber's and my old messages to waste time. Tears fall as I get all the way back to the messages of me telling Amber that my mom had died of cancer. I remember that day all too perfectly. I was at home doing science homework. Dad was at work at the hospital, and Mom was upstairs, lying in bed, because it wasn't like she could do anything else with the cancer that was located in her spine. I was stuck on a problem for work, and Mom used to be a middle school science teacher, so I was sure she knew the answer. So I crept up the stairs and knocked on her door, but there was no response. I started to panic, so I opened the door and rushed in. Mom was just lying there, unconscious. I called Dad immediately, and he rushed home from work, only to bring her back to the hospital. But it was too late. She had died on her way to the hospital. I remember Dad checking her pulse in the parking lot, then looking back at me solemnly, giving me all that I needed to know. She hadn't made it. That's when I had broke down, completed with snotty sobs. That's in the past, though, I tell myself. I wipe away not only the tears, but the mad memories that had caused them. My body shudders as I try to breathe once again. I rest my head on the table, too weak to keep holding it up. Maybe, if I can fit in a nap before school's end, everything will be better. Just as I close my eyes, the bell rings and my eyes spring open. Great. Now I have an hour to get ready to see Cade and try to convince Dad to take me to the park. I get up, shove my phone into my back pocket, and head back out to the busy halls.
Steven, who's that?
There's Steven.
Hello. Hi. How you doing? Okay. So my book, I'm reading from like not the beginning, but close to the beginning, and I need to tell you a little bit because I just need to tell you a brief thing about the beginning. Otherwise, none of this will make sense. So in the beginning, they were working in the science lab on a science project, and they blew up the school. Yeah, and he made it out. The main character made it out, but his friend didn't. And, like, he almost made it out, but he didn't make it out. He didn't get like full on hit, but he got crushed in the rubble. He's not dead or anything, but so he got crushed in the rubble, and basically they don't know this yet, but the bomb that they had created caused them to have superpowers. Okay, so I'm gonna start my book now. Okay, so I told on the news. Our local news reporter Ian said that in the devastating accident, 8 had left us, and 11 are hurt. I felt sick to my stomach, and then I puked. And the doctor came rushing in and asked if I was okay. No, I said no. I felt fine physically, but not emotionally. So the doctor was doing what doctors do, and his face got all weird. And said, "You have 10 fractured bones and scars, and a lot of scars. And you are in no pain?" I was surprised. I said, "Yes, I feel fine." The doctor said I would have to say so more doctors could look at me. And he said I would need a wheelchair because some of the fractures were in my leg. My mom came crying in. I said I was fine. The doctor argued, telling my mom about the fractures and scars. And then she told me I would have to stay. My mom said, "If a man comes in claiming to be my dad, don't let him in." My dad went to jail when I was 2. He went to jail because he was texting while driving. I know it's not a big crime, but he went to jail for 1 month. But my mom is what you call an overprotective mom. She does not care how he went to jail or for how long. He does not want me what she calls a criminal. It's not like I don't have a dad. I do, well, a stepdad, but he's like a dad, considering I can't even remember my real dad. My stepdad does not think of me as a stepson, nor do I think of him as a stepdad. I have 1 sister and 2 stepbrothers, but we don't think of them as stepbrothers, and they don't think of us as stepbrother and stepsister. As soon as my mom left, my stepdad came in. He was not crying, but that was because he knows I am fine. My stepdad left and went home to watch my siblings. I could see outside the door because there was a window. I saw a man come up to my mom and said, "Let me see my son." It was my dad. I was happy and mad at the same time. I was happy because I may get to see him. I was mad because I kind of don't want to see him. I have a good life. I don't want my dad to come in and mess it all up. My mom said he can't, and he got mad and hit her. I got up, I was mad. I knew what kind of guy my dad was. He was a jerk. At this point, I had no control anymore. I grabbed the bottle from the hospital room and started to grab stuff and pour it into the bottle and mixed it. My body seemed to come back into my control. I looked out the window and my dad was making a fist. With no thought, I poured it on me. I felt weird for a second and I went to open the door and I broke the handle. I was shocked and confused. And I thought, did the potion I poured on me do this? With the same hand, I lifted up the hospital bed. I tried to lift the bed with my other hand, and it did not work. And I was confused. I heard a scream. It was my mom. My dad was shaking his hand like it was hot. My mom was on the ground crying. I ran to the door realizing I had broke the handle. Then I took the hand that was strong and punched the door. It broke. I kicked it and nothing happened. So I kicked it with my other foot, and the door went flying. My mom and dad looked at me, and I punched my dad and knocked him out. The doctors came and took my dad away. I'm glad my mom is overprotective. Otherwise, I might have grown up like him. Now I had to explain what had happened to my mom. I told her she was confused. I wanted to tell James, so I went to his room. He was awake. I told him. He said sorry about my dad being a jerk, and then he said said, so you're a superhero? I said, no, and touched him. He disappeared. And I freaked out, yelling, screaming, James, James. I stopped for a second, and I heard something, a voice saying, I'm under the sheet. Under the sheet, I saw him. It was James, but he was tiny, so tiny, I could step on him. I was confused but relieved. It was not just happening to me. I told him to get in my hands. In less than a second, he was in my hands. I said, how? He said, I started to run, and the whole world stopped. This is weird. This is how a super speeder would describe what it's like when he is super speeding. I said that to him, and he said, yes.
I'm afraid for what Stephen is going to do in science now. Tiffany Stratton.
My story is close to the end, but I have to tell you two things or some of the parts won't make sense. So there's a magic rock that can kill the creature that's in here, and the girl got slashed by the stomach by the beast, just so you know. I'm gonna say. Chapter 8, Cave in the Woods. So I think it lives in a cave, Allie said. Okay, well then, we'll look for a cave, I said in a quiet voice. Why are you scared? Allie asked. She stopped me. Well, I don't want us to die, I said in a sad voice, because I know something is going to die, and it's probably not going to be the lichen, I screamed. I covered my mouth, realizing if the lichen didn't know we were there, it knows now. The only thing that is going to die today is the lichen, and if I die, so what? You will live, so if I die, don't be sad, because you will live and kill it, Allie said as she hugged me. It will be all right, she said. Okay, let's get going. As we started to walk, I thought about what Allie said. I thought about all the ways it could go wrong. Lizzie, I think I found it, Allie yelled, pulling me towards the cave. Then I heard something drop. I looked down and saw the rock rolling down the hill. I lunged and grabbed it. Then I heard a growl. I looked at the cave and saw two big red eyes. Allie, run and hide, I said. Then we both ran. I looked back to see Allie hide behind a bush. No, I said in a quiet voice, thinking, no, this can't be happening, as a tear ran down my cheek. I've shed too many tears. I hid behind a tree, and then the lichen came out of the cave. Lizzie, the lichen growled in a muffled voice. No matter how hard you try, I will find your friend, and then you'll be next, the lichen said. Not today, I said in a louder voice. It looked at the tree I was hiding behind, then just started slowly walking towards it. Lizzie, is that you? He asked in a louder voice. Then I heard a rustle in the bush. He looked back and bolted towards the bush. I heard the loudest scream. He found her. No, I shouted, but it was too late. He threw her. She hit the cave. Well, Lizzie, how are you? He sneered. Are you going to ask questions or are you just going to kill me? I asked, but I knew the answer. He came towards me. Why are you doing this to me? I said, as he picked me up by my neck. Because I want you to feel the pain, the lichen said as he threw me down, making the stuff in my bag fall out and hurting my arm. Allie, I screamed. I tried to crawl to her. You aren't getting away that easy, the lichen said. I grabbed the rock and shoved it in its face. Ah, it said, as he flinched, falling back. You brat, he howled, getting back up. I got up and ran towards Allie. When I got to her, he was coming towards me. Allie, wake up, please. I told your mom you wouldn't get hurt. Please wake up, I said as I started to cry. Well, now it's your turn, the lichen said. No, not today. I ran towards him, rock in my hand. You can't kill me, the lichen said as I rammed the rock into his stomach. Now you can feel the pain of my stomach, I replied. Stop that, he said as the rock burned through his skin. Stop that, the lichen said, pulling me down. But I kept the rock there. Finally, he got weaker. I put the rock on his face, melting his face. I pushed him back, holding him down this time. I said I was going to win. You killed all my friends, now you will pay, I said. He screamed, then there was silence. He was dead. I fell back, all in a state of shock. It worked, Allie, it worked. Allie? I got up and ran to Allie. Allie, please, come on, please wake up. I said, but I knew she wasn't going to get up. I sat there crying. Allie, he's gone. You will be okay. You will be okay. Please wake up, I said, crying. My heart exploded with feelings of anger and sadness. I was sad and very angry. I sat there crying. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. It'll all be okay, I said in a quiet voice.
Is somebody going to read Grace's? Yeah, okay. This is this was written by Grace Bisnoff, couldn't be here tonight. Grace Bisnoff, read by Miriam Clark.
That's all she said. Jackson didn't have to know. They arrived to Olive Garden and Aria gets out of the car. Her mom shows up shortly after. They all walk into Olive Garden and get a booth. Aria sees Lucas, a kid in her class, walk up to their table. Aria and Lucas are friends. He has a great fashion sense and he's really funny, but Aria could never date him because he is gay. Hey sisters, welcome to Olive Garden. I'm Lucas. Can I start you all off with some drinks? Lucas smiled. I just want ice water, her mom said. Aria could already tell she didn't like Lucas. Max just shrugs. Will that be water for the table then? Lucas states. No, I want Mountain Dew, Max shrugs. I'd like some water, Aria said. Lucas writes down the drinks and walks away. Is that kid, gay? Her mom asked quietly, as if she were ashamed of him. Yes, Miss Jackson. He is gay. Max says, mad. It's not a big deal. Love is love. Aria's mom looks at Max in disbelief. Mom, he is right. If he's gay, then let him be gay, Aria states. Her mom just looks at the menu. Lucas comes back with their drinks. He hands out the drinks to each person. So, what do you all want to eat? Lucas asks. They all get their orders and Lucas walks back to the kitchen. Aria was looking around the restaurant. There was the cliche family with the screaming, annoying baby. The tired mom and the dad that watches too much sports. The dad of the family had happened to be Aria and Max's old health teacher from middle school, Mr. McMillan. Max, it's Mr. McMillan, from 8th grade, Aria whispers to Max. He turns around to look at him and they both start to laugh. Mr. McMillan was eating his pasta like a pig. Aria, Max, and her mom were all in a deep conversation. Then, Aria's eyes get distracted by a head of bright blonde hair, Brianna, walking and holding Jackson's hand. She was whining about something. They both get to a booth and it's the one right next to Aria. Aria, is that you? You look so good. You've changed so much since the fight, Brianna screams. Aria fakely smiles and waves. Yup, it's Aria, she sighs. Lucas comes out with their food. Jackson, I want food, Brianna whines, looking at the food. You'll get food in a minute. Quit whining, Jackson groans. Brianna sighs and looks at the menu. After they all finish eating, Mr. McMillan walks up to Aria's table. Who are you? Her mom quizzes. I'm Mr. McMillan. You can call me Fred, though. I had Aria and Max in school when they were 8th graders. Aria was quite the little troublemaker. Aria rolls her eyes and Max laughs. Can we go before he embarrasses me more? Aria asks. Aria, I will walk baldy baboon, Brianna yells. Sorry. Mr. McMillan turns around and looks at Brianna. Ah, Brianna, he said, clenching his teeth. Nice to see you. Aria stands up to leave and Max follows her. I can't believe Brianna did that. I doubt she even ate any of the food Jackson bought her Aria's size. Well, she's a freshman. What do you expect? Max states. Aria shrugs and leans on Max. He kisses her hair and she smiles. They both get into Max's car when Aria's mom walks out of the restaurant.
Well, that's the end of the signed-up writers. I wish you could have read, this is a sample of the story. We had all kinds of mayhem going on at JKL. We had space travel and time travel and dragon travel and aliens and really poignant relationship deals happening, and it's just really been an adventure. I'm going to put her on the spot and ask Ms. Deneau, would you like to say something?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I just want to really, you guys are funny. I just really would like to thank the students for volunteering to come and read, because it's not an easy thing. One, to get up in front of people, and two, to share your work, which is super personal. And I told them like that in class, and some students would like to share, but some students did not like to share, even within our classroom. So thank you guys so much for coming. You should be really proud. I know your parents are proud of you. And I just hope that you guys enjoyed it, because we spent a lot of time prepping and working on this. October was considered Preptober, so that's all we did in the month of October was prep for our novels. And then we wrote for the month of November, and then December was some editing. So it's been a long time in the works, and we're currently in the process of using a Blurb. I think it's Blurb.
Blurb.
Yeah, Blurb. It's an online publishing site, and the kids who'd like to are going to walk away with an actual book. They're going to get to either choose a cover of their book, or they can design it themselves. So we're in the process of doing that also. So the kiddos are going to actually have their book in a book form, because we spent a lot of time working on this, and I think that's super cool. And I hope that they enjoy that as well. So yeah, I'm just proud of them. They worked really hard, and their stories are awesome. There were points where I was reading through, I brought my iPad to the gym or whatever, and I'm reading through, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be commenting on this. This isn't an actual book I'm reading for fun. I have to go back now. And so there was just a lot of really great writing to read, and it was a lot of fun for me to read it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Thanks again, guys.
Does anyone have any questions for any of the writers or the teachers in the room? There's several. Or anything about Nano or the library? Any questions from anybody? Anything more? Okay. Well, I so appreciate those of you that came out. Please, the refreshments are over there. I love the little fruit cups. So help yourselves to the refreshments. Talk to the students, encourage them, thank them for coming and for being the brave ones.
Yes.
So, but thank you so much for coming out and supporting not only your students, but your community, your library, your Nano. Thank you.